Hey, Finn. Hey, Finny. Okay, I just posted it on Instagram. If I were to do a Q&A, not saying this video is a Q&A. This might not be a Q&A, I don't know. But if I were to do a Q&A, what questions would you guys ask? This is what I'm working on right now. It's a 4-piece, 13.5-inch swim bait. This is going to be my submission for the Autism Awareness Painting Challenge, but I'm carving my own bait too. Not sure if this is cheating. It's not cheating. I'm gonna paint this like a champ. This is gonna be a good bait. I'm going to win. You get some stuff. You get $50 going towards Dead Meat Customize, so I am going to win. To the questions. Let's see what questions you guys have. I just posted this a minute ago, so. Favorite country artist? Green Carper 23. He's noticed that I have great taste. Yes, that's right. My friends make fun of me for this, but I don't care. Coulter Wall is my favorite country artist. You know, if you're not into country, I don't advise that you go just look him up and think that you're gonna like it. I drink coffee and enjoy spicy food at night and have challenging tastes. So if you like yodeling, let's have a little sample. YouTube, don't you freaking dare take this out of context like I'm stealing this guy's content. This is good stuff. You know it, Nick. Okay, now you all think I'm weird. What's my favorite kind of lure to make? Is this too close? Is this too personal? Back you fellas up. Yeah, it's still pretty intimate, but whatever. What is my favorite kind of lure to make? An offset hard body spinner. You know, the one with the spinner on the top and there's like a wooden body on the bottom where you can paint it and have it still be really detailed, and that's my favorite. It's simple. And sometimes you can get that body to wobble and it has like the most tantalizing action ever. And you can put a soft plastic off the back and then you got a lot going on. Big spinner on the top, soft plastic on the back, and the body can even wobble. That's one heck of a bait. What is my favorite wood to work with? Poplar. Last year I did testing and found that poplar sometimes isn't the best wood to be making certain kinds of baits out of, especially small crankbaits. I think you need over a 5-inch bait to have poplar be a suitable choice for a crankbait, but when it comes to carving on it and the butteriness and the niceness of wood to carve on it, I like poplar. Remember the complicated swim bait? I'm sure you all do, because every video I post, people are asking, where's the complicated swim bait? It's coming back around again. It's People of the Sun quote. RATM, you know what I'm saying? What made me get into bait making? Don't. It's gonna get cold in here, but I don't want that heater to kick on. What made me get into bait making was, first I was gonna make soap, or was it candles? It was either soap or candles. I was going to make something and sell it and make money. And I was getting into soap quite a bit. I even made like a logo of me chopping down a tree with an axe, and it was going to be my silhouette of that. And I was going to put it on my soap and stuff, and like source materials to make essential oils out of and get a distill thing that you put the material in, and the oil, like it fumes up and it goes through pipes and the oil drips, you know. But then I didn't do soap and I didn't do candles or any of that. And I was gonna paint for a while. Like I have that bear painting up there. I don't know if I ever pointed that out to you guys before. That's my little bear painting. I was gonna paint paintings and sell them. I ended up just learning how to make fishing lures, and I sold them for a while. Now I'm a YouTuber. Life's weird. Why did you decide to do YouTube? I think you need a bit of strange in you to just decide that what you're gonna do is point a camera at yourself and do stuff and try to be entertaining, and then hope that you get big enough to just do it full time. But before any of the money's involved, you need a bit of weirdness to be able to just point a camera and do what you do and actually kind of like it. Kind of like pointing the camera at myself, which is okay, you know? It's not seeking attention. It's, you like the concept of like, you're performing to get some footage to go edit later and make it cool and entertaining, you know? I mean, I'm sure there's some YouTubers that just want attention, but then it's obvious that they just want attention. You want to be making film and footage and entertainment, and then it's fun. What was that question? Oh, what made me decide to start YouTube? Because I'm just that way. Yes, the camera angle awkwardly changes once in a while. How do you like me from that angle? Alright, I think this video is going to be fine. I think this will be enough for a Q&A. It's doing okay. Do I fly fish? No, I'm not gay. I reserve myself in front of the camera sometimes. I have insensitive jokes most of the time. Gotta keep it, you know, family friendly for YouTube. I've never fly fished, but I'll probably give it a shot someday. I got a friend, Jason. He's getting into rod building, and I think he can make fly rods too, eventually. So I might have to make a fly rod and give her a go. What's my PB? I assume you mean bass. My PB, the big old stinky bass, is I don't know. Came out of the river. I know my biggest one was out of the river, and it was a heroic cast all the way across the river. And the second that 1/4 ounce jig landed, a giant swirl stirred up around it and a splash, and boom, and it hit, and it was a honker. I didn't have a scale. I was a lot younger back then. It's a weird way of saying that it was a long time ago. I don't know what it was. Pushing over 6. I'm not a dedicated bass fisherman. We're having a competition in 2020 here, me and a group of friends. We're calling it Big Bait Bonanza, and we're only going to be using big baits, and I don't know if it's for a day or a weekend, but we'll be seeing who catches the biggest bass in some farm ponds that have big bass around here. Who is your favorite Christian artist? Let me think. You guys know Wheeler Walker Jr.? I think that's my favorite Christian artist. Do I like snakes? I used to have snakes as a pet. We need an angle change. How do you guys like it over there? Oh, you can see my soft plastic station, a little bit of it. Still using it. Very glad I made it. A lot of videos are going to come from that. Okay, my SD card just filled up, but I'm back. What silicone do you use for mold making? You guys are asking the questions I don't want to answer. I see. You're just taking advantage of this, aren't you? Finding out all my secrets. It's called a Lucifex. I have found that silicone, I get it on eBay, is extremely heat resistant. Like, you can keep a heat gun on it for a long time and you get no browning. It's called a Lucifex. There you go. Do I plan on having any more kids? I suppose I should say, do we plan on having any more kids? And how's it going in the fen so far? I've never really asked myself that. How is it going? Pretty flawlessly. There has been no mishaps whatsoever. No health complications. I mean, pretty standard baby when it comes to once in a while keeping you up at night, you know, but nothing bad at all. Blessed. Oh, and probably one more kid is our plan. You never know. Another fly fishing question? What's the matter with you people? Do I like fly fishing? I don't know. What made me start making my own baits? Personal best of various species. Most difficult bait to make. Bait that surprised me the most. That is multiple questions in one comment. Okay, here's a better one. Horse-sized duck or duck-sized horse? Duck-sized horse. I want to be it. Yeah, duck-sized horse. What's my favorite bait I've ever made? That's a toughie. Oh, goodness. I'm looking at them up there. Oh man, I got some over here too. Yeah. I really like that 7-inch bluegill glider that I made in one day. But I also really like that chipmunk. You see the chipmunk right there? I really like that chipmunk. It turned out really good. Because I used the mahogany wood grain to replicate the fur, and it turned out perfect. It really looks like fur. Let me put the effort in and get it down and show you. I mean, this toe biter though, I like this toe. It's probably this chipmunk, this toe biter, And then that 7-inch glider. There's the chipmunk though, with the wood grain and the fur and its cute little face and its little arms and the paint on the top and stuff. And it knocks really loud as it swims. Next question. Will I ever fly fish? This needs to stop. Airbrush care and maintenance and tips and stuff. I don't really use many solvents. I just use all water-based paint, mostly just Wicked Createx paints and water. And then I have the Createx airbrush cleaner that if a color is being stubborn, I just run some of this through the airbrush and it's clean. I've gotten used to over the years, like I can disassemble that airbrush like that and like clean it and get it like spick and span on all of the necessary parts that the paint's traveling through and stuff. And yeah, it's just after a while you really learn your airbrush and you're able to keep it clean, keep it functioning flawlessly, and it's really pretty easy. Next. Almost dropped this phone. That would have been devastating. There's glass on the back too, so. And I never have a case on my phone. I've never had a phone with a case. I've always just held on tight, and I've never dropped and broken a phone either, so I am therefore omnipotent. Anyway, would you rather make baits your life long or be a bait one day? What kind of bait? Doesn't matter. That's a deep question. The grammar's a little off. I think he spelled everything right though, and I need a moment to think. I'd want to be a bait. What bait would I be? The banjo minnow. Could you try to catch 3 or 4 species with the same bait in one day? Thanks for all the great videos. Well, I got news for you, Adrienne Canoes. I've caught 7 species with the same bait in one day. What would you do if you weren't making baits all the time? Probably live on the street, drink too much, have a longer beard, scragglier hair, maybe sores on my face, and ask for your money. That's probably what I'd do. Have I ever considered teaching a simple bait making course at my local college? I know they sometimes offer woodworking and painting courses that are only a few hours on the weekends. Not really. I pretty much just stopped going to college after a couple years and like was done with that. I don't like schools. Can you tell? Never liked the classroom format, sit down and listen to somebody and stuff, but that's just me. My camera's low on batteries. One moment. What's your favorite fast food place? Oh man. Chick-fil-A. No, I don't want to be that I don't want to be like that. I'm thinking of a fast food place that I can say that won't make you all think I'm weird. I'm not being honest with this. I can't answer this. I'm not going to answer honestly. Now, you know it's Chick-fil-A. Dang it. Same question as the message I sent you. Ooh, that's kind of passive aggressive. Jeez. I can't answer messages on Instagram. It's absurd. It's insane. That's all I would do all day. No, I can't. You might as well stop asking me. But then I'll be able to answer them. If you all stop asking me, then I'll start being able to answer them. What a paradox. Did I ever catch a fish on my Roman-made mother? No, I don't want to talk about that. When will you send me a bait? I've been dying to fish with one of your baits. If I could be a sandwich for a whole day, which one would I be? An ice cream sandwich. What's the toughest lure I ever made? Well, the most durable lure I've ever made was probably a 26-inch long walleye, what was it, a 4-piece swim bait? Because I used like giant hardware for it and stuff, and I sold it to somebody a long time ago for not enough money. But the most difficult to make lure that I've ever made, oh, where is it? Let me see if I have one here. Were these. I probably messed around with this bait for a couple months, and this was a 2-piece injection silicone mold that I had to just keep going back and forward on like the processes and like tweaking it and making it actually shoot well. It's a very, very detailed carving that this one's made out of, or that the master was. I switched the tail design on this thing like 5 times to get that, but these work amazing. This is made out of the incorrect plastic. You can see how floppy it is, but this is like a worm blend. You should be using like a tube craw blend. But that was a tough bait. Oh, my wife just commented. Let's see what she asked. What would you want to be called if you could change your name? Vincenzo. Thank you, honey. It was a great question. Will I ever do a meetup? Only if it's not planned. I've met people before that watch the channel, like while I'm out fishing, and it happens a lot while I go out fishing. But I've also, like, in the grocery store, and one day when I was at the dump, I met a dude. And one time at the bathroom in, was it Carver Hawkeye Arena? I was at the urinal and somebody said hi to me. So I like those kinds of meetups. I don't want to be like, everybody come here because I'm here, you know? When you gonna get a boat, boy? Probably this year. YouTube has been kind to me. Probably this year. I'm excited. I've never had a boat before. I've actually never driven a boat before. I am a novice. Actually, not even a novice. I have no clue. I know how to start an engine. It's probably gonna be a, you know, outboard. Is that what they call that? With the steering stick and the throttle. John boat. That I might deck up a little bit and like have a place to cast off of. This year, it's gonna be the year. What happened to the advanced soft plastic bait? I assume you mean the complicated swim bait? I shouldn't say this, but I'm becoming more of an adult and a responsible, upstanding citizen, and I'm doing dealings with people, other people, and we just have stuff planned. Wow, I am very reluctant to say any more about that, and I've never been in that situation. I just want to tell you guys what I'm doing. We got to keep it on the DL for a little bit, but get ready. They kind of relate to the Okay, next question. If you had to eat a soft plastic bait that you made, would it be a frog or a fish? I'd be the octopus. Okay, we're up to 108 comments on this post, so I will not be able to answer everything. You know that. How long is the beard gonna get? I think the peak of my beard and its length on video was when I did that bait with Peric, which he forgot his bait. Peric, your bait is still here. You could give me a shipping address. I'll ship that to you. I know how much it means to you. A piece of your soul is probably missing, and it's left here in this shop, and I need to get that to you. May I DM you? You may, but I ain't gonna respond. I don't click this button anymore. I don't go up there. I don't, you know, it can get weird in those DMs. Like, stuff can get very weird. I'm thankful Instagram blurs images from people you're not following before you open them, but I don't go in there anymore. Sorry. Will you ever do other wood crafts? For instance, slingshot making? Dude, I could do like a bow fishing slingshot. We have a lot of carp here that people are appreciative if you shoot with a bow and throw them on the bank. So that could be a video. That'd be a great video. But will I ever do a video that doesn't pertain to fishing or lure making or anything, and just it's me making something out of wood? I like if it gets there, you know. I don't feel like it's there at all. There's all sorts of stuff to make. The idea is just I'll have like 10 a day, so I'm not really scrapped for ideas. Which lure that you made has caught the most fish? Why'd you have to bring that up? I used to call it Old Faithful. 2019 was its year. She's gone now. Snagged it in a tree, 10-pound braided line. Had no other option because it wrapped around a branch, like Indiana Jones style, and it's on there. So I was hoping just to break the branch. I didn't. I broke my line, but the branch is pulled full, you know, loaded spring force, lots of potential energy in that branch, and ka-flap and snap on in the ka-flap. So the branch broke on the way away from me, and that thing went 50 yards out into the middle of that body of water. It happened in slow motion for me. I could sense that lure's life flashing before its tiny little eyes that I glued on. That was my favorite bait, and it caught probably like anywhere between 200 and 300 fish that lure caught. Every trip I used it, I could pretty much catch a fish, even if it was a bad day. The lure is my first one day I ever did. That little crappie crankbait. It was my first one day, and it's gone. And it was such a good lure. Best action I ever got out of a crankbait was that bait. Let's move on. I don't want to cry on camera. Can I make an auction on eBay? I've probably done that like a couple thousand times in my life. You never get as much money as you want, except maybe like 0.5% of the time. Sometimes it can be absurd. There was one time I posted this little, I think it was less than 2 inches offset spinner. Simple paint job, just like blue to white on the belly with a red stripe coming off the back and a little spinner on the top. So it was just this little spinner. Take a guess right now in the comments. How much do you think that went for? Answer, $98 is what it got bid up to. And then eBay takes 10%. Excise tax takes 10%. Self-employment tax takes a lot, like 15%, 15 to 20%, depending on how much money you make for the year. So like, and then there's the expense of making the lure and the time and all that. What are you getting paid for your time? Probably a little over 50 bucks. If you make $98 on one lure. So you guys need to keep that in mind if you're thinking about making lures for a living. You're almost just getting half of profits. It's a tough way to make a living. You have to just want to make lures and not care how much money you make. I found that out the long hard way. When will I go pike fishing? I do all the time, buddy. All the time. I'm the pike master. I'm the muskie man, actually. I've caught a muskie before. Caught it out of a river. It was a river muskie on a 1/4 ounce jig head. So that's the answer to your when will you go pike fishing question. I'm the muskie man. And what is your PB pike? Oh, this guy's back. I'll just tell you what my PB muskie was. And I think it was like 36 inches. Anyway, Mississippi cedar or the Wapsie? Which is worst for Iowa fishing in your opinion? I've only fished at the Mississippi once, even though I'm just like an hour and a half away from it. Cedar is my stomping grounds, as the youngsters would say. Or actually probably as the like 50-year-old dudes that used to be youngsters, and when they were youngsters they would say stomping grounds. I don't know, Mississippi? It's really big. You gotta find the good spots. Go to Guttenberg. This is getting too specific. A lot of people are listening to this and they don't know what these things are except probably the Mississippi. How do I cope with glue fumes? You become the glue fumes. You are the glue fumes. How old is Chip? Old Chippy boy. He's not old at all. 5 or 6 years. What's his favorite food? It used to be apples, but now I'm pretty sure it's bacon. And how high can he jump? I don't think just with a single leap that he can jump that high, but I've seen him like scamper up really quick like a 12-foot wall, a 12-foot like ridge. He can be pretty nimble when he wants, but he's just a big baby. Like he won't even, like I'll let him out in the snow for a little bit to do his thing, and he'll like start pulling his paws off the ground weird and like not liking it because it's cold and being a big baby. That's Chip. If you could only fish with one lure for the rest of your life, what would it be? The banjo minnow. What was your career vector before before you had taken up bait making? Is this coffee? I think I poured this today. You can never tell. I was just at a college called Kirkwood. I don't know. I was doing business stuff at my community college. I didn't really have much of a career vector before I started making baits. I'd like more fun facts on flatulence. I exhausted on that video. Oh yeah, the bandsaw video where I cut my finger and then I did fun facts on flatulence. I kind of regret it. Let's not make any jokes about that. I only have a 16 gigabyte card. It just filled up again. This is going to be a lot of editing. Not that I mind or anything. No big deal, guys. How do you pick the right location for a glide bait joint? I take the entire length of the bait, so you have to include the tail fin too. You can't just not have your tail fin on the bait and then measure halfway through that. You need the tail fin, and I cut it in half. And I've always stayed consistent with that because it also depends on how you weigh it. So I don't want that variable to change and then me to have different results for, you know, there's more variables than just how you weigh it too. There's the shape of the bait and everything, but it's good to kind of try to keep one of those variables consistent from bait to bait in order to kind of know what you're doing. With glide bait joints, you have to accept you don't know what you're doing very much, and each bait is going to need its unique weight system inside of it to make it work well. Because even trying to keep the same woods consistent, like density of the wood grain can be different from piece of wood to piece of wood of the same wood, you know. So that's a complicated question. That's some of the most complicated lure making stuff that there is trying to get a glide bait to work well. That's why they're so freaking expensive. What's my favorite park of the Midwest to fish? Palisades Kepler State Park, I think it's its full name. You guys don't need to go there. Don't even check it out. Don't try fishing there. It's not good at all. Actually, you're gonna want to stay away from there. This is just a public service announcement, a warning, if you will. Stay away from Palisades Kepler State Park. It's not a good fishing spot. Don't go there. What's my favorite brewery and favorite beer? Toppling Goliath? I think they're Pompeii. I got a can in there. I mean, Pseudo Sue's pretty close, but they're that one with the volcano on it. Pompeii, I think, is the beer, is what it's called. If Finn was 10 years old, what life advice would you give him about success and happiness? And would it be the same advice you would give your 10-year-old self? Good Lord, dude. You go deep. Deep. Oh, man. Now I'm going to be judged by this answer. I have to make it good. Oh, man. 10-year-old kid? That's the age. That's the age where you can be a little kid still. But if you choose, you can also be like a little man as well. I would say just try to be the best at whatever you do. Like, go for being the best at something. There shouldn't be another goal, really. I think that's as specific as you can get without telling anybody what to do at the same time. And it's always worthwhile, unless you want to be an evil dictator. Would I trade places with Chip if I had the chance? I don't think any human, if they actually had the chance, would want to just become a dog. It's kind of sad. They only live for I think German Shepherds, on their average lifespan's 12, 13 years, so no. Sorry, Chip, no. What was the end result of my neighbor's dirt pile? Well, that's city-owned property now. And I think they're just dumping a whole bunch of dirt out there. I shouldn't give you guys any more clues as to where I live. I think they just dumped a bunch of dirt right there because they're doing construction on the other, up the road and on the other side. So. Can I attempt a lure made of cardboard? Yes, I'm capable of that. How do you keep motivated to continue making baits? I'm just kidding. I can't have drug references in this video. I'm not putting that in. I don't know. Sometimes I don't feel like making baits, and then I just don't. I don't upload very often, so I just make baits when I want to make a bait. That's it. That's all you got to do. Have I ever thought about making plugs for stripers? Of course, I have before. Oh, Chelsea asked another question. Fishing or baiting? Baiting's what we call when I go over to my friend's house and make baits in his garage. We just call it you want to do some baiting? Dang it, Chelsea. I probably am at the point where I like making baits the exact same amount as I like fishing with them. Probably baiting. I'm gonna go with baiting. Good question, Chelsea. Thank you. Your life story. I already did a video like that. It turned into my life story. First ones I've ever made is what it's titled. Go listen to my life story. I need to end this video. I really do. Oh, what a perfect question to end this video on. My friend Nick asked a question. Do you want to make baits in my shop tonight? Yeah, I'm gonna go do some baiting. Thanks for sticking around, watching this Q&A. Hope you enjoyed. Video's over. It's been real. I'm glad we had that talk, guys. On to the next bait.